I just wonder if Steeler will handle the track. He took quite a long time to get going at Goodwood.
I also think Kieran Fallon was incredibly bullish about him in the weekender, and he'd probably go off a little bit shorter price than maybe his form says that he should, having won nicely at Goodwood last time. And let's begin with the top one. This is our Waab, who was catching a decent horse, fast Havana Gold last time out. Will he be able to stay close enough to the pace today? We'll find out shortly.
Artigiano is a big scopy horse who looks very well. He won over 6 furlongs at Leicester early in the season. Hasn't been disgraced in group races without winning. He has a chance on form, but as I said, it's an open race, this.
This is Birdman. I think he'll appreciate stepping up to a mile. He's a 20-to-1 shot, but I hope they make a little bit more use of him this afternoon. He was a little bit keen early on in the season, but he's settled down now, and I think he just stays.
They made plenty of use with Excess Knowledge last time when he was second at Newbury. He'd won over a mile the time before. The Newbury race was 7 furlongs. On all known form, he's bred to stay well, to be more of a 3-year-old. He's got to step up to win this.
This is a really nice horse, man. Fantastic Moon. He came from way off the pace to win a good race at Sandown. Beat some good horses last time. Johnny Murta rides him this afternoon.
Mocenigo was in that race John's just referred to, won by Fantastic Moon, not beaten far, beaten a couple of lengths, bolted up on the all-weather the time before. Might have been a bit of a culture shock at Sandown, much tougher company. This
horse is taking a different route to this race. He beat Toronado, or he was second to Toronado on his debut of Charlie Hills. That's one word more.
And finally, Steeler, to whom we referred earlier, he was second at York in a Group 3 race and then won a listed contest last time at Goodwood, but he's taken all of 7 furlongs to get going in his races so far. A really interesting afternoon. Simon Holt has got his work cut out with a Cambridger coming up later on, but even so, Simon, I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Certainly, and Jim, and good to see that you've been able to dispense with your jackets in that nice warm paddock commentary box. They're lined up here. Artigiano on the near side in the all blue of Godolphin. Frankie Dettori as they jump away for this, the Juddmonte Royal Lodge Stakes. Artigiano over on the far side. Birdman is handy in the dark blue sleeves. Steeler close up as well. And then Excess Knowledge, one word more on the far side. On the near side, orange sleeves. That is Tom Quealy aboard Al Waab. The early pace looks pretty steady. Mocenigo is pulling hard in last place, and second last, getting some cover, is Fantastic Moon. So a bit of a dawdle through the first quarter mile here, and Artigiano is joined now by Birdman. Steeler close up under Kieran Fallon between those two. They're followed on the far side by one word more, and in the pink cap, Excess Knowledge, the Abdullah colours. Fantastic Moon tracking them with Birdman on the right, followed by Al Waab, as now they race towards the final 3.5 furlongs or so, just racing inside the half mile now. And Steeler goes on just to Birdman. Artigiano almost 3 in a line. Excess Knowledge in behind them. Fantastic Moon is travelling well in the blue and the yellow for Johnny Murta. Then one word more and Al Waab, and out the back is Mocenigo, and a lot of jockeys getting lower in the saddle now as the race is really on, and it's Steeler that just leads the way to Artigiano on the far side. Then Birdman. Al Waab begins to stay on. Excess Knowledge. Fantastic Moon hasn't been able to pick up as they run into the dip, and it's Artigiano on the far side of Steeler, and these two seem to have it between them. They're clear of Birdman as they race up the hill. Artigiano, Steeler on the near side. Steely by name, Steely by nature, and Steeler now gets ahead of Artigiano to win the Royal Lodge. In third, maybe Al Waab, finishing well on the near side of Birdman. Fantastic Moon also running on well in the end, but took too long about it. Then one word more, Excess Knowledge and Mocenigo at the back. Well, Steeler has long looked as though the step up to a mile was going to suit him, and so it has proved here, because he really saw the trip out very well. And the one thing he's also shown in previous races is a really desirable attitude. Steeler, and Kieran Fallon wins the first race, this Royal Lodge.
One of the pundit picks for the Morning Line guest this morning, William Haggis, who of course has got Mukadaram later on in the Betfred Cambridgeshire. But it's Mark Johnson who trains the winner of the Juddmonte Royal Lodge Stakes. He won it in '93 with Mr Bailey's and 2008 with Jukebox Jury. He now wins it with Steeler. What a tenacious, determined little horse Steeler is. Wins at 11-4. Second, number 3, Artigiano at 7-1. They've just given the third horse is number 2, Al Waab, and there was an at 4-1, and an eye-catching late run for Fantastic Moon, the 9-4 favourite. But for the 2,000 guineas, Steeler gets a quote of 25-1 from Coral, 25 from Labrooks, and Coral also put him in for 20-1 for the Derby.
Well, the principals were handy from the off here. The wind is diagonally behind them and it's quite strong, and it just might be the case this afternoon that it pays to be relatively handy. Kieran Fallon on this horse, who once again, Johnny, went through a flat spot. He maybe wasn't ideally suited by running down into the dip, but he's determined, and he picked up well against once they hit the rising ground.
No, I didn't think he was going to win. I thought the horse of Francis Artigiano just about had his measure. He looked to be lengthening and just getting away from Mark Johnson's runner. He's just 3 short of 200 now, Mark. But when they hit the rising ground, Kieran Fallon picked him up, and he just had that little bit more in reserve. He just a little bit hardened, and in the end, on the line, if you just joined it there, you'd say, God, well, he's won